Hello and welcome back to Time in the UK. I've got something new to show you today. It's a Tudor, it's a Black Bay, and it's a Pro. Okay, so we're back to a talking pair of hands. You'll just be grateful you don't have to look at my ugly visage any longer, guys. Right, so first things first, I want to go through a few specifications for this particular watch. So what have we got? Well, we've got a weight of 164 grams, and that's sized for my wrist with a couple of links removed. And we've got a case size of 39 millimeters, and we've got a case depth of 14.9 millimeters. But something interesting, or possibly nerdy or not interesting as you decide, is that a lot of the depth is made up of the crystal. So if you measure exclusively the metal, like the bottom to the top of the bezel, you're getting about 13 mil. So there's about 2 mil of crystal there. Just zoom in so perhaps you can see it a bit better. Yes, there's about 2 millimeters of crystal there. I've not quite taken this sticker off yet, so as I'm wearing this, I normally leave these on for a couple of weeks just to save them. But anyway, yeah, so you've got 2 mil of crystal there. Now, I am going to do a side-by-side video with a couple of other watches, so just to get your ideas onto the, the relevant sizes there. And then you've got the blank case back. Your lug to look is 47.4 on this one, I think, and you've got 20 millimeter lug width. Now, the first link of the bracelet measures in 18.7, yeah, and then the next one here is 17.2, and this one is 15.8, and it's 15.8, and it just continues. The machined clasp is 18 millimeters, and it's approximately 39 in this direction. Now, I say approximately because you can't really measure it 100%, and I will show you exactly why. Is because you have a really fantastic feature fitted. It's called a glide lock, and as you can see, there's just an incredible amount of adjustment there, and it's so easy to do. Isn't that absolutely brilliant? And I believe that the new Tudor Ranger has this clasp as well. So I think that what's going to happen within the Tudor Ranger is they're going to update their clasps. And as you can see, it's just a bit like the old one. It's got the ceramic balls there. It just snaps together. Visually, we've lost that sort of big flat expanse of metal, and it's now got a nice chamfered detail there. We're sort of hinting at its big brother, I suppose. And to open it, you simply place your thumb under the bottom of the Tudor shield, and we've got like a little tooth of metal sticking down there. Yeah, and if you want to be really fussy, I'd say that possibly is ever so slightly coarse, but that's the clasp. And of course we've got the bracelet. The bracelet's got the faux rivets on it. Just a note as well that I believe that the Tudor Ranger bracelet is the same size, but it doesn't have faux rivets. So if you're an absolute nutcase and you've got more money than sense, and you've own a 58 Black Bay or something like that without a bracelet, perhaps you could buy the Ranger. You could swap the Ranger's bracelet out onto your 58 and have a bracelet with no lugs and a rapid adjustment clasp, because I know that the lugs are a bit of a bugbear for a lot of people. The crown is rather nice as well, and it does take me back to perhaps if you're old enough to remember the old 5 pences that were actually a pre-decimal coin. What were they called now? The shilling, sixpence or whatever, I don't know, but it's just got that sort of, zoom in, a really nice sort of crown logo there that I've seen on some coins from back in the day. So that's really fantastic. And then we've got the dial. Now the dial is, put simply, it's gorgeous. Okay, so just a bit of a buff up there just to get the dust off. And I don't know if you can actually see this, so I'm just going to zoom right in. How close can we get? Okay. Now, if you look really carefully, you could perhaps see that there is a slight rough texture to the dial. And if you notice on the second hand, the cantilever to the second hand, you know, you can just see that texture there. Now, this is the only Tudor that I've seen with that texture on the dial. The Pelagos doesn't have it. And the way that the hands are painted as well, as the white bits sort of touch the black, as they come into the centre of the watch, there is a very slight lack of precision there. The line, I mean, this isn't a brilliant photo to show you, but if we zoomed right in on a macro lens, you'd see that the edge where the white and black meet, it wasn't a perfect finish. Now, how is that going to affect you in real life? Well, unless you've got superpowers, I really don't think it will. But if you are in the market and you are buying one, I would fully recommend that you go to the shop with a loupe and have a good look at the dial, because, you know, it is possible that there may be some paint flaws on the one that you're buying. So just double check and make sure that you're happy with the quality of the item you're purchasing. And while we're zoomed in, just take a look at the date window. And just to let you know, I have tested it, and at 2 minutes past the hour, the date changes with a sharp snap. So I believe that Tudor have got on and fixed all of the date issues, because that's one of the best snaps. It doesn't sort of take its time to go across. It doesn't move slowly. It doesn't start moving at quarter to, anything like that. On my particular watch, 2 minutes past the hour, snap, it's gone. And I completely forgot to mention the Luminova, which is sort of cast and then stuck on rather than being brushed on. And it really does hold very well. It's a very good lume, as I think you'll be able to tell from these photographs. The watch itself features the Tudor in-house GMT movement with a full balance bridge, 70-hour power reserve, and all that other nice Tudor goodness. Looking at the dial, apparently it's taken its inspiration from the Steve Mcqueen Gmt. Now, considering the Steve Mcqueen Gmt, and I'll post a picture in the screen now, has got a completely different dial. The only inspiration that I can see that they could have taken is perhaps the colour of the lume and the colour of the face, because, you know, everything else. But the way that, possibly the way that date markers are indicated, whereas on the Rolex Explorer 2 there's a little triangle there in the middle, just there, whereas this one's just got a dash. So that might be, people are generally saying that it has its inspiration taken from the Rolex Explorer 2. Of course, we've got a screw down crown, so just to pull the crown, oops, that's gone up 2 positions, let's take it back. So the first position is winding. It's got a very satisfying winding action. Second position is the jump hour, which will go forward, in this case 2, or back. And obviously the next position is the time. Use that to set the time. So to set the GMT time, you would just rotate the time fully until you got the GMT hand in the correct position, and then you would just take the hour hand back to where you wanted it. And that is how you set the time. When setting the time, you notice that the second hand has stopped, so it is hacking. But when you put it in the position of setting the jump hand, the second hand continues. So let's say you're on a plane setting your watch plus 2 hours or back 2 hours or whatever, you wouldn't lose any synchronization. And then of course this crown simply screws down, nice and easy. Very easy screwing action. And we're back in the watertight position and we're ready to rock and roll. Personally, I've set my GMT hand to GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, and then if ever I travel, which is very rare these days, you can just rock the large hand for local time, and you've still got the reference there for your GMT. So how does it wear? Well, personally, I think it wears very well. And the fact that you can consistently adjust the strap to your day-to-day needs is really good. I don't find the watch top heavy or anything like that. I think it's a nicely balanced watch. There is a bit of weight there, obviously, to the watch head. But, you know, I think it fits nicely into my preferred position of wearing it, which is just over the wrist knuckle. I like wearing it there. I'm not one of these people that wears the watch up here. That's just not me. I like it down there. In fact, you can tell this by the fact I've got a little tan line. It's probably not showing up, but there you go. And of course, making adjustments on the fly is super easy to do. You kind of don't even have to take your watch off, but probably easier if you do. So you just slip the watch off, slide it back one, lock it into position, and you're done. The only other easier way of doing it I've seen is the Christopher Ward have a little pull out one that you can actually do while you're wearing the watch, which is super handy. But that said, I think this is a fantastic, stunning, amazing piece of kit. And I had my name down at the Tudor dealer to get this one, and it took a few months for it to come in, and I know there's a few other people out there with this one now, but I'm super stoked to have this one, the Tudor Black Bay, and it's been on my wrist almost constantly now. Every time I wear a watch it's this one, and I've been wearing it now for 3 weeks, I think it is, so I'm well into, you know, the honeymoon period with this one, but I feel no reasons whatsoever to wear anything else. I just think it's amazing. I just love the subtle tones of it, the retro cool, if you like. Okay, well, I think I've taken up enough of your time right now, so thank you very much for checking out this review up close of the Tudor Black Bay Pro. Any questions about anything, feel free to ask in the comments section. I'll be more than pleased to respond. If you've liked this video, please give me a like. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. It really boosts up the way that the channel works. The more people like, the more people see us. And just to note really that it's got all of the usual Black Bay refinements. You know, you've got the polished side, you've got the polished sort of reveal, you've got the brushed there, circular brushing on the case, and radial brushing on the bezel there. But it's uber cool. It's the Tudor Black Bay Pro, and I'll see you in the next one.